Hey, I'm Andrea from Santa Fe Painting Workshops, and today I'm going to show you how to mix warm and neutral oranges. I'm starting off here with cadmium orange, and we'll paint that in its pure form so you can compare that to the other colors. First, we'll use phthalo blue and orange for our first neutral mix. Now make sure when you're adding a darker color to a lighter color, you use a very small amount. If you saw, I had barely any blue on my palette knife there, and look how drastically it changed this color. Orange and blue are opposites in the color wheel, so when you mix them, you actually do get brown if you have the right amounts. But I'm not going for brown in this mix. And as you can see, it actually turned brown too quickly. That's what happens when you mix the complements. And so I'm adding a little bit more orange here to try to make this mix a little bit more orange and less brown. But because I'm painting wet on wet, I'm not getting a huge difference here. So now we're going to use phthalo green and orange for our second mix. And just remember, you want to use a very small amount or else it'll change the color too much. Because green has yellow in it in addition to blue, that's why this color is coming out more yellow-orange than the orange and blue mix right next to it. Now we're going to add purple or violet to our orange. And remember to use a very small amount when you're mixing the color. As you can see here, I don't have quite enough of the purple to change that as much as I wanted to, so I'm adding more here. And then as I added more, I thought that was actually a little bit too much, so I'm adding more of the cadmium orange back in. This is totally normal to go back and forth and to dial in your color the way you want it. And I want you to notice that orange is a little bit more red orange than the yellow orange above it. And that's because purple has red in it in addition to blue. I felt like my orange and blue mix was still too brown, so I decided to remix it down here. But I needed that color to dry first so that I could just go on top. And so there is a subtle difference here, but I am happier with this color. Look at these beautiful oranges we got without using any black or white. We just used other colors. So let's talk about the color wheel and why that happened. Notice that orange and blue are opposites in the color wheel. When you mix opposites, you get brown. We added a bit of blue to the orange and that neutralized it. Now we also did an orange and green mix. So because of the blue in the green, it neutralized it. But also green's closer to yellow, and that's why we got the yellow orange. Then we did orange and purple. Purple is closer to red in the color wheel, and so that's why we got more of an orange red. So if you're wanting to mix a pumpkin orange, notice how orange and green would be the totally perfect mix to use. Look and see how you have these oranges. Pretty much all of these could work in these autumn leaves. We have some bright orange, we've got some orange and blue, we've got some orange and green, and even the orange and purple. And these are the crab apples from my crabapple tree. And once again, you can see almost all of these colors reflected here. You can see almost a pure orange, but for sure orange and blue, orange and green, orange and purple, and a little bit more yellow orange as well. If you added more yellow to some of these, you'd really nail these colors. I hope you learned a lot from this and that you learned how to neutralize your colors and make different mixes using different colors as opposed to using black and white. Please subscribe and like this video. It helps me so much, and happy paint mixing!